Hello, everyone. I'm Megan from Huma Charity Challenge. We're the charity division of World Expeditions. To begin, I'd like to respectfully acknowledge the Gambanya people, the traditional custodians of the land on which I'm speaking today, and pay my respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging. Joining me is the lovely Karen Ford from Hamlin. We're thrilled to have you join us as we explore this remarkable journey through Ethiopia in support of the Catherine Hamlin Fistula Foundation. Huma's collaboration with the Foundation has spanned many years, during which we've curated diverse itineraries across this extraordinary country. For the last few years, we've ventured into the exotic southern region of Omo Valley. The Omo Valley. The unique culture of this area, combined with the warmth and generosity of the local communities, leaves lasting impressions on all who have participated. Tonight, we'll take you on a virtual journey through Ethiopia, highlighting the profound impact of the Catherine Hamlin Fistula Foundation on both the community and the nation. Thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to sharing this inspiring journey with you.
Hi and welcome from wherever you're joining us. We're so glad to have you here to hear more about the Hamlin Ethiopian Adventure Tours. As you can hear from our accents, Megan and myself are from Australia, and I understand we have people joining us from Europe, from US, from New Zealand, and of course here in Australia. I'm Karen Ford. I'm the Global Head of Fundraising, Marketing and Communications here at Catherine Hamlin Fistula Foundation. We support the work of Hamlin Fistula Ethiopia, and that was founded by doctors Catherine and Reginald Hamlin. Catherine was from Sydney, Australia, and Reg from Napier, New Zealand. Both were obstetricians and gynecologists who met while working at the Crown Street Women's Hospital here in Sydney. They moved to Ethiopia in 1959, originally going on a 3-year contract. But once they saw the plight of women with horrific childbirth injuries called obstetric fistula, they couldn't turn their back on these women, and they ended up making it their life's mission. When you join us on the Hamlin Ethiopian Adventure, you can meet and speak with these women at our hospitals. It can be a very emotional but truly inspirational journey for you. As part of your commitment when joining the trip, you are required to fundraise a minimum of $4,000 Australian. This money goes directly to providing women with life-changing fistula repair surgery and holistic care. Catherine Hamlin Fistula Foundation has partnered with Huma and on running these trips for over 10 years now. And over the last 12 months, we've opened them up to our global supporters through our partner organisations, Hamlin Fistula New Zealand and Hamlin Fistula Netherlands. In November 25, we had participants join us from the US, from Canada, from New Zealand and Australia. And we'd love to welcome all of you to come and join us on the trip. So I'll pass it back to you, Megan.
Huma Charity Challenge is proud to partner with the Catherine Hamlin Fistula Foundation as the travel operator and the agent for this trip. Huma is the charity division of World Expeditions, which is a globally recognised adventure travel company with more than 50 years' experience operating guided journeys around the world. We'll provide you with a comprehensive pre-departure information, including visa and vaccination advice and preparation tips, and assistance with international flights, travel insurance, and additional travel arrangements if required. Our role is to ensure that the trip is well organised, safe, and seamless, so that you can focus on the experience and the purpose of the trip. Ethiopia is located in the Horn of Africa. It's bordered by Eritrea, Sudan, Kenya, and Somalia. Various governments around the world currently advise travellers to exercise a high degree of caution or reconsider the need to travel to parts of the country. These advisories have been in place for many years and generally reflect the broader regional considerations, with similar guidance issued by multiple international authorities. Our journeys are focused on Addis Ababa and selected regions such as the Omo Valley, where advisories typically recommend a high degree of caution. We do not operate in areas classified as do not travel. With more than 50 years of experience, World Expeditions has well-established safety protocols that prioritise traveller wellbeing. We continuously monitor conditions through our local partners, experienced guides and official travel advice, and operate in line with the guidance of local authorities at all times. So when going to Ethiopia, most travellers require a tourist visa. This can be arranged online before travel via the official government website. Instructions and visa links will be included in the pre-departure information packs provided by Huma. So just a little note, make sure your passport is valid for at least 6 months beyond your return date And we also recommend consulting a travel doctor well before departure for the latest vaccination and health advice. Vaccinations such as yellow fever, typhoid, and meningitis may be recommended, and proof of the yellow fever vaccination is sometimes required when returning to your home country. World Expeditions is a licensed travel agent. We can assist with international flights, as I said before, travel insurance and additional arrangements. We highly recommend that you do book your flights through Huma, as we can ensure that flights are coordinated and easier to manage if plans change due to unexpected disruptions, as of course we've seen recently. The main carriers that fly to Ethiopia include Ethiopian Airlines, Qatar, Emirates, Singapore Airlines, Thai Airways, and Cathay Pacific. So Ethiopia is a nation rich in history, culture, and really diverse landscapes. So combining the urban allure of Addis Ababa with the profound cultural experiences in the Omo Valley make this a really enriching Ethiopian adventure. Ethiopia is one of the oldest nations in the world and is often thought by historians to be the location of the beginning of mankind. As the only country which has never been colonized, Ethiopia retains culture and traditions dating back over 3,000 years. Ethiopia mixes culture and nature in a land where time stands still. This 13-day journey from the 3rd to the 15th of March 2027 showcases the very best of Ethiopia with rich cultural experiences, unique landscapes, and a strong connection to the impactful work of Hamlin Fistula, Ethiopia. Beginning in Addis Ababa, we'll visit the key Hamlin facilities, including Fistula Hospital, Midwifery College, and Desta Mender. We'll travel south to the Omo Valley for unique cultural encounters with the various tribes before continuing through Minch and Yirgalem to visit the Hamlin supported clinics there and hospital. You'll experience Ethiopia's natural beauty with time at Lake Hawassa and the Rift Valley Lakes before returning to Addis for International Women's Day, highlighted by an incredible 5-kilometre run that you'll share if you do participate with thousands of local women. The tour is an immersive cultural experience, so it involves lots of sightseeing, touring of Hamlin facilities, and long journeys on sometimes really rough roads, especially when visiting remote areas where facilities may be basic. Each day is packed with activities, but we ensure a comfortable pace without rushing. Typically after breakfast, we'll set off for the day's drive or a tour, we'll break for lunch, and continue with walking or sightseeing or travelling in the afternoon, and evenings are usually free to relax. We'll travel in private and air-conditioned four-wheel drive vehicles with generally 3 or 4 people to a vehicle. The trip cost is all-inclusive at Addis Ababa, and it includes the internal flight from Addis to Jinka in the south, accommodation on a twin or double share basis, but single room accommodation is available. It includes all meals and bottled water, all activities, adventures, entrance fees and sightseeing, photography and village fees for the Omo Valley, and arrival and departure airport transfers. So in Addis, we stay at the Jupiter International Hotel, which is just minutes from the airport and really conveniently located for easy access to Hamlin facilities and city sightseeing. In the south, we'll stay in simple but comfortable twin share accommodation with ensuite bathrooms and attached restaurants for our meals. Down south, Wi-Fi is quite limited, so when you're down south, expect to be off-grid for a little bit, which a lot of people really do enjoy actually for a change. The trip is fully supported, and the lovely Eayor will be your guide. He's fluent in English and deeply knowledgeable about his homeland, and he was a long-time friend of Catherine and Hamlin. Eayor and his dedicated team are committed to providing an unforgettable experience. All guide staff are trained in wilderness first aid, and they carry comprehensive medical kits. Ethiopia's capital, Addis Ababa, is a sprawling city that's always seemed like a magical portal, a gateway to another world. In Addis, we'll explore the bustling Karo, which is one of Africa's largest open-air markets and the best place in the country to sample Ethiopian food. We'll drive to Mount Entoto, which is at 3,200 metres for panoramic views over Addis. And if time allows, we'll visit the National Museum, home to the famous fossil Lucy. Karen.
I think I am going to take you on a little journey through the Addis, the Hamlin facilities, and down south in the Omo Valley. I've been lucky enough to go on one of these trips, and I've also been to Ethiopia a few times. So I think this trip is very special as you will get to visit the famous hospital by the river. So if any of you have read the book by Catherine Hamlin with John Little, this is Catherine and Reg's home for most of their lives in Ethiopia. And it really is a true oasis for the women going through treatment and recovery. You'll get to meet the doctors, surgeons, nurses, and patients at this famous hospital. You will enjoy a tour of the working hospital. You'll get to meet and interact with patients themselves, as well as Mamitu, who is our world famous fistula surgeon. You'll hear firsthand from patients and about their stories and how truly life-changing Hamlin is for them. They enjoy meeting you as well and having the chance to thank you for supporting them in their journey. Many participants who have returned from our trips have said it's absolutely the highlight of their trip, meeting the patients and sitting down and having discussions with them. You will enjoy a lovingly made lunch and you'll get to sit with the key Hamlin staff. So you'll have all the opportunity to ask them any questions that you may have. And the lunch is prepared by our hospital cooks. And I have to say, it is really, really scrumptious. So on the next slide, it just shows you a couple of fun photos of our staff giggling, having a coffee ceremony, which you will get to enjoy with them. The patients, and there's one of our recent tour groups in the hospital with our key staff members. And the next photo here just shows you the front. It's the iconic photo of Hospital by the River. And Catherine loved her gardening, so she really made the hospital and the grounds a real oasis and a place for patients to recover. So when you're there, you'll see patients meandering around in the gardens, enjoying this really relaxing, serene environment. It is in the heart of Addis Ababa, so outside the gates is really sprawling and busy and but in here you can't hear a thing. It is so relaxing and peaceful. And you'll get to, if you'll see the next photo here, everyone gets to get that famous shot on the stairs of the hospital where you often see patients sitting relaxing in the sun and enjoying the tranquility. So you'll also get to visit Desta Mender, and in Amharic, which is the local language, it is called Joy Village. It's our rehabilitation and reintegration centre. I think it's another very special part of the trip. Even though it's on the outskirts of Addis Ababa, it really is so peaceful and quiet, and I think a wonderful place for women to heal and learn. So this is our centre where past fistula patients come to learn vocational skills training, and they can pick one of quite a few modalities. They then get given seed money to go home and start a business. As a lot of these women are illiterate when they come to us. They may have been suffering with fistula for many, many years, hidden in shame and isolation in their communities. So it does mean a lot that they can learn skills and go home having business opportunities to support themselves back in their communities. You'll get to meet Tigist, who's the head of Desta Mender. You'll meet past fistula patients and as they're undergoing their treatment, and often they'll tell you stories about their background, where they've come from and what they're learning. So that is really great to spend time with them. And of course, you'll enjoy coffee ceremony. You will get used to drinking a lot of coffee in Ethiopia. It is the home of coffee, and coffee ceremony is very important to the culture. They sit around, it's a place of sharing, of talking, and they love their coffee. It is very nice coffee. You'll also get on the same location. They share that it's on the same plot of land, but next door is the Hamlin College of Midwives. So if you are a medical professional yourself or a midwife, people usually really enjoy going to the college as well. First off, you'll start with another scrumptious lunch with key Hamlin staff from Desta Mender and from the college. You'll enjoy then a walk through the working college, and you may have the opportunity to attend a class. You'll meet current trainees and hear from them directly on what this opportunity really means to them. So that's another really unique opportunity to sort of delve deeper into the work of Hamlin that you support. So then we fly south to the lovely Omo Valley. So we leave Addis Ababa behind, and this is really unique and exotic cultural experience. And for me personally, not knowing what to expect the first time, you can see here it's just lush and green along the Omo Valley. It really is renowned as a rich tapestry of Indigenous tribes, each with its distinct traditions and customs, which you'll get to see. Um, so you'll have the opportunity to engage with a few different communities and witness age-old practices and ceremonies. So I'm going to walk you through just a few of them that we went as part of our trip, and a couple of fun facts in each that we got to know during our time there. So the first one on the afternoon that you arrive is the Ari tribe. And so they're indigenous to the Omo Valley. And so the fun fact I learned here is all of the tribe nearly speak the Omo-Attic language. And also something to note is there's over about 70 dialects in Ethiopia. And some people speak their local dialect and not Amharic, which is the national language. So it can be often difficult to communicate tribe to tribe sometimes. So here, though more than half of them are multilingual, so they speak other language like Amharic, the other half aren't. They speak only their local language. So this society is comprised of potters, tanners, and blacksmiths. So we got to try our hand at making injera. You can see there in the bottom right-hand corner. Injera is a flatbread that's very traditional that Ethiopians eat with every meal. And we also got to have our hair braided by some of the local girls in the community. We also saw them making their local gin, which we did get to sample as well. So the next tribe that we go to is called the Mursi tribe. So this is a little bit further south. So we head south from Jinka. It's well known and probably one of the last groups in Africa amongst who still the norm is for women to wear large pottery wooden discs or plates, as they call it, in their lower lip, which you can see there. And the Mursi regard this as a sign of beauty. So the girls have their lips pierced from the age of about 15 or 16. And you'll see from the next photo just how they live in their huts. These are nomadic tribes, so they do move around wherever there's water and agriculture where they can plant and get food. And then to get to that tribe, you go through Mago National Park. So it's about 26 kilometres south of Jinka. All of the roads through there are unpaved. But one thing I learnt that this national park is famous for large troops of baboons, which are often commonly seen animals by visitors. So these are some that we witnessed on our trip through the national park, which was fascinating. It was great to see them as we drove through. You'll get to visit the Huma tribe. So this is one of the largest tribes in the valley. So they're known for their fine pottery they produce, as well as their remarkable hairstyling, which you can see on the women there. So most dramatic of all, the clay hair buns would have to be the one this gentleman I saw. This is a photo of mine that has ostrich feathers, and they don this sort of pottery hat on their head, and it has significance. It means that they've killed a fierce animal. And so all the hairstyling and the buns stay on them for 3 to 6 months at a time. And you'll also see there the women wear beaded necklaces and iron coils around their arms to decorate their skin. So it was very unique. It was very colourful. It was amazing. The other tribe you'll get to see is the Karo. And I think this one is the most picturesque. It sits up a little higher. You're looking out over the Omo Valley and the Omo River, you can see there. So it's quite pretty and picturesque. The Karo people are famous for their body painting. It's what they're traditionally known for. So they use locally available vegetable pigments, and they make fascinating patterns on either their faces, their chests, their arms, and their legs. So we all had our face painted with this sort of dotted artistic paint on our faces, and it was amazing. It was really great to see, but it's a very picturesque tribe. And you can see here, this is their houses. and some of the artwork there. And I think one of my favorites has to be the Konso tribe. So I feel like they're ahead of their time in terms of the running of a village back in the day when they started this. So this tribal village has have managed to develop a very highly sophisticated agricultural economy, and in the process, one of Africa's most fascinating cultures. So we also have the chance to visit the chief of the Konso, hopefully his house, and you get to meet him himself, and you really get to learn about the tribe and how they live. And the next slide just shows you it's quite a rocky because it's on the side of a cliff. The way they built all the walls to stop sort of any invasions and things like that. It was just I found it very fascinating. As I said, it was one of my favorites. And as we're driving around, you get to see many sights that you'll experience on and off the road. Here is a few that we saw. I think some of the goats on the back of the motorbike and how many people actually fit on a motorbike, people collecting the water, donkeys carrying produce. Sometimes your trip can take a little longer than expected if we have a local traffic jam, as you can see in the main photo there. But it just adds to the trip for sure. It's amazing. So then you'll get to witness part of Hamlin has 5 regional hospitals, and they are located in the areas of most need. So you'll get to go to one of the regional hospitals, and this time it'll be in Yirgalem. And again, you'll get to meet the staff, the surgeons, and the patients. Because it is a lot smaller hospital, you really do get a lot more time to interact and sit and talk to the patients. And a lot of past participants say that, it really is and was one of the best parts of their tour. Again, very emotional when you hear some of these women's stories. But also very inspiring and uplifting and what they think of Hamlin, and thanking you for your support along their journey. You'll also get to visit 2 regional health clinics. So Hamlin works with local governments to upgrade local clinics. So you get to visit 2 of them, and we call them Hamlin supported midwifery clinics. You'll get to meet Hamlin trained midwives. So you'd been to the college, now you get to see the midwives in action and witness the skills that they have and what they have to work with, and how their support goes a long way in these rural parts of Ethiopia. So as you've come through some of this local rural area, you get to see just the vast distances that people have to travel. A lot of women, they have no transport. So trying to get to any medical care is really, really hard. So these clinics are vital, and our Hamlin midwives are so critical to the care that we provide. If you're a medical professional yourself, as past participants have been, like some of the ones in the photo, they really love interacting with midwives, get to really learn and see them in action. So it really is a great experience. After you've visited those 2, you get to witness again going to another rural, someone's home actually. So this is quite a unique experience. You get to walk through some rainforest, and you'll get to a traditional Sidama village for a cultural visit, and again a coffee ceremony. So they'll make all the coffee in their hut. This is actually the house that we went to. And in the nearby forest, you'll get to go with the woman to learn how they harvest false banana, it's called. And it's actually very hard. So there I was. You can actually have a go yourself and try and harvest false banana. It was actually quite interesting, but very hard work. And in the nearby forest, as you walk back to your hotel, you may come across some bushbuck, hyenas, baboons, and the Columbus monkey or 2. The other thing that I think a lot of participants highlight, because it's a lot more leisurely morning, you have a boat ride on Lake Hawassa. So, and a fun fact about this is you might get to see some Marlborough storks and definitely some hippopotamus we saw. It's just a very relaxing day on the lake, relaxing on one of these boats you can see here, and just seeing some of the wildlife and the daily life on Lake Hawassa. And during your trip, these are my photos from all the different wildlife I got to see in and around different places on our trip. So you will also get to witness some wildlife, which is, again, I think part of what we think of when we go to Africa. So that's really good. Um, Once we get back to Addis, as Megan mentioned earlier, you do get to participate in the International Women's Day 5K run. And here's some photos of past participants who actually did participate. You don't have to run, you can just be a spectator, but they all absolutely loved being part of this. You're alongside Ethiopian women, and 7,000 Ethiopian women pretty much take part in this run or walk. Some Hamlin staff, you'll be walking alongside them. And it's a really vibrant celebration, and it's one that they found truly, truly memorable. One of those life experiences that, it's a once in a lifetime. And then at the end of your tour, the last evening, you get to visit this cultural restaurant. And again, I feel like I've said a few times it's one of the participants' favorite evening, but there's a lot of fun that you get to spend with your newfound friends. You get to try local honey wine, and experience really traditional cultural dancing. They have different cultural dances from every region in Ethiopia. So they all have different music, traditional dress, and actually the dancing. So it's all quite different and unique. You can get up on stage and have a dance if you want to. You can learn how to do the different dancing. They do this shoulder dancing, which is quite unique. But it's a wonderful atmosphere. It's great food. It's local food. But it truly is a great way to finish your trip, to have a few drinks with all your newfound friends. Sometimes the drivers will join you along with the AOR, of course, and it's a great way to say goodbye and finish your trip. So I'll pass back to Megan now.
Thanks, Karen. In November next year, we've talked about the Omo trip at length tonight, but in November we're actually excited to introduce a new destination called Hara in eastern Ethiopia. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of the oldest cities in the country. Hara is a maze of colourful alleyways, markets, ancient mosques, and it's a real rich blend of culture, history, and spiritual Islamic tradition. The city is actually known as a living museum. You'll also visit the Awash National Park, which is typical kind of Rift Valley landscape and wildlife, lots of wildlife, and you'll stay at the Doho Lodge, which is on natural hot springs and overlooks the Awash River. And we visit a wildlife reserve, which is home to some really rare species of zebra and African wild ass. And we kind of introduced Hara because we've spoken to some local people who've spent some time there, including Karen, and have absolutely raved about it as just an incredible part of Ethiopia. So in next year, in 2027, you'll have two incredible options. March, travel south to the Omo Valley, which is one of the most culturally diverse regions on Earth. And in November, travel east to Hara, which is for a vibrant kind of cultural and historic city experience. So both trips spend valuable time at the Hamlin facilities, and both offer a remarkable insight into Ethiopia's heritage. If you feel ready to join us, simply visit the humacharitychallenge.com website, where the booking link will appear in your local currency. Or if you prefer more information before deciding, just reply to the webinar email and we'll respond to you straight away.